you guys speaking too? Oh, okay. How are you? You I know. One minute, just 1 minute, sir. We're trying to get, maybe you would know this. So for HUD-Dash, this is effective. That's what Alex is
trying to track
Alex
that down
calling
right now.
your office right now. Yes. We know that for Light Tech, it's going to take a little while. For HUD-Dash.
Effectively, it'll be right at the Federal Register, which is kind of fine.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Or they're gonna ask, right? All right, we got cut on the case.
yeah, everybody's scrambling down, that's good.
So, quick runner show, Kyle?
We got the mayor, yourself, perfect. We got the road, we got the urban, right here.
Are they gathering around here?
Come on up, come on up. Yeah, come on. Come join us. The more the merrier.
We want to balance things out over this way, yeah? There we go, thank you.
Here, I'll go this way. Now, you want me to go that way? Oh, okay, perfect. Right there, perfect.
Good morning, and welcome to the City of Encinitas. My name is Tony Kranz, and I have the privilege of serving as the mayor here in the beautiful coastal city. And it is my honor this morning to be able to introduce our congressman, who has been working his tail off for our community and every other community in his district back in Washington, D.C. It hasn't been easy being a congressman lately, representing back in D.C., but in spite of the challenges, Congressman Levin has managed to accomplish a tremendous amount of work. And the things that he has done to bring resources back to each of the communities in this district has been tremendous. And it is really fantastic that we have him here today to announce his efforts on addressing issues related to housing and our veterans. And there is nothing more important in this city and our county and our country right now than housing issues. So it is really tremendous that he has been able to accomplish this. And I look forward to hearing more about it here. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Congressman Mike Levin.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. Well, my sincere thanks to Mayor Kranz, who's just doing a great job for the city of Encinitas. And what an honor to get to represent Encinitas. I want to thank my staff who's here. They worked incredibly hard on this. Shannon Bradley, where did Shannon go? She's taking a picture. Kyle, Crail Frolander, the whole team in DC, if they see this later. We've been working on this for 5+ years. And particularly I want to give a shout out to my Chief of Staff, Jonathan Gilbert, and Allie Feinswag, our Legislative Director, and Faith Williams, who worked in our office for 5 years. And this was I was just saying to our friends from HUD, this was a 5-year overnight success, that we're talking about this. For those that I don't know, I'm Mike Levin. I'm the representative for the 49th District, which includes North County, San Diego, and South Orange County. In Congress, I am honored to serve on the Veterans Affairs Committee, and I'm the leading Democrat on what's called the Economic Opportunity Subcommittee, which has jurisdiction over veteran homelessness, housing, the GI Bill, transition assistance, and workforce development. And I did not know when I got to Congress almost 6 years ago that the work that I would be doing for veterans would be the most rewarding work, but it has been, because we actually see the fruit of our labor. It is still in many ways a nonpartisan endeavor. I've made dear friends with my Republican colleagues on that committee, and we can point to results. And I've been very honored to now have over 24 bipartisan veterans bills signed into law. And of course, the biggest bill that we all worked on together was the PACT Act, which finally makes right those who were exposed to toxic substances and burn pits in the post 9/11 conflicts. Now they will have the health care that they deserve. A great honor, obviously, also to represent Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton, all of our Marines and our sailors. Keon, our Marine on staff, is here with me today. But what I wanted to do today is make a big announcement, which is federal policy changes that will make an impact on veteran homelessness here in San Diego and really all throughout the United States of America. Here in California, according to the point-in-time count in 2023, there were nearly 11,000 homeless veterans just in California alone. We have 1/3 of all the homeless veterans in the United States. And here in San Diego County, 865 homeless veterans. And I think that's 865 too many. No veteran should ever be without a home. We should be making easier for veterans to be able to get a house, get a place to live, not more difficult. And I'm very proud to share today that the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, effective just 2 days ago is when this started, August 13th, will stop counting veterans' disability benefits as income for purposes of the HUD-VASH rental assistance program. This change will enable thousands of homeless and low-income veterans to become eligible for housing vouchers and affordable housing and rental assistance programs. This is a big deal because before this policy change, these benefits were considered income. Disability was considered income when determining whether a veteran could qualify for housing assistance. And what this meant, and I saw this with my own eyes, I know others here have as well, it meant that some veterans exceeded the income threshold for housing programs designed for them. You literally saw housing projects built and veterans in tents right outside of them because their disability income put them over the cap to qualify to live in those very housing projects. It was one of those moments for me where you say, somebody ought to do something about that. And we did. And a lot of my colleagues and I got together and we definitely put a bug in the ear of HUD and VA and Treasury, and we said, you got to fix this. And I'm so happy that they have. So going forward, veterans will not be denied housing due to their disability benefits. That's a big deal. This is a major win for veterans across the country. HUD is now working with Treasury to finalize the policy changes for units funded by the low-income housing tax credit. My team and I have been working hard on that, and in fact, we've been working hard on this issue for a very long time, as I said. Just a few things that we did. In December of 2022, we wrote HUD in the White House office of OMB requesting that this change be made. In May of 23, I held a committee hearing in Oceanside on veteran homelessness, not far from here. This issue was a theme of that hearing, and I reiterated my commitment to pushing HUD to doing the right thing with regard to this issue. And we kept working at it, and I also want to thank the White House as well, working with their domestic policy staff and friends there. They got it. They understood why this was so important. They saw that this was simply something that had to be fixed. And I'm really grateful to everybody at HUD. We have someone, Deputy Secretary Peter Hunter. Deputy Secretary Hunter, I believe, flew here for this, which I'm very honored and excited that he did that. But we're so grateful to working the relationship that we've got with everyone at HUD. So I'm going to turn it over now to Deputy Secretary Hunter to tell you more about these policy changes. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you to Congressman Levin for the invitation to join today and for his work on this important issue. The issue of ending veterans' homelessness is central to the Biden-Harris administration and HUD Acting Secretary Adrian Todman. Each year, thousands of veterans return home from service, and unfortunately, too many of them face challenges finding a stable place to live. As a nation, we owe them more than just our gratitude. We owe them the support they need to thrive. Over the years, thanks to support and funding from Congress and joint efforts by HUD and our partners at the VA, we have made significant strides in addressing veterans' homelessness. HUD-VASH, our cornerstone program for veterans experiencing homelessness, has supported more than 200,000 veterans since 2008, and has been pivotal to our nation's success in reducing veteran homelessness by over 50% since 2010. However, our work is not done until all veterans have a home. That's why last week, the Biden-Harris administration took action by expanding access to housing support for veterans, including those with service-connected disability benefits. The changes in funding announced by Acting Secretary Todman will reduce barriers faced by veterans to get the support they deserve. The expanded access and flexibilities for the HUD-VASH program will help public housing authorities better serve our veterans and veterans better access that support. One of the big changes is raising the income eligibility threshold for HUD-VASH from 50% of the area median income to 80%. This means that veterans can make more money and still qualify for our vouchers, meaning that more of them will have stable, affordable housing. Another is the new alternative definition for annual income for HUD-VASH that the Congressman was talking about. This new alternative definition excludes veterans' service-connected disability benefits for determining eligibility. This means that disability benefits our nation's veterans receive because of their military service will no longer be counted against them when it comes to housing benefits. Additionally, last week, HUD announced $20 million in additional funding for public housing agencies to administer this program, including to help veterans find apartments, recruit landlords, and help veterans with security deposits. The Biden-Harris administration, Acting Secretary Todman, and all of HUD are committed to helping more homeless veterans access the permanent supportive housing that will end their homelessness and provide them with the opportunity and support to live in a community and achieve stability and recovery. Together, we can ensure that those who have sacrificed so much for our country are supported when they return home. Thank you. Thank you, Congress.
Great job. Thank you so much. I now want to turn it over to PATH's Chief Regional Officer, Jonathan Castillo. Jonathan. There you are. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jonathan Castillo, the Chief Regional Officer for PATH. We're one of the largest and most impactful homeless service providers in California. We're honored to be the local lead or community lead for the HUD-VASH program supporting our local veterans. It will not surprise any of you that solving homelessness is not easy. However, we are thankful for collaborative partners like Congressman Levin, the Biden administration, and the Veterans Administration, who have been proactively working with us on solutions. Prior to joining PATH, I worked at the Greater Los Angeles Department of Veteran Affairs over 16 years ago, where I started my career in homeless services. I worked as a case manager and later serving as a program leader for the HUD-VASH program. We were constantly seeing veterans in desperate need of program support, but were not eligible due to service-connected disabilities. So I know these changes have been needed for some time. Thanks to bipartisan commitment, we're also seeing some impressive traction in the fight to end veteran homelessness and new solutions become reality. The New York Times recently reported on how we have reduced this population by nearly 50% nationwide since 2008. While that's certainly commendable, no veteran should ever go unhoused, and we must continue to invest in proven solutions and find new ways to make services and housing more available to those in need. Our PATH teams frequently encounter veterans who we have to turn away because they have too much income to qualify for some of these life-saving programs, leaving some to choose between the needed benefits and housing opportunities. That is why we are elated to hear about HUD's move to allow veterans with service-connected disability to have greater access to housing opportunities. This policy shift will be meaningful for many of the veterans we work with here in San Diego, but also across California and the United States. We need to reduce barriers whenever and wherever we can, which is why we commend HUD for listening and responding to advocates and key decision makers. This technical and seemingly bureaucratic change will have real-world impacts and will mean that more formerly unhoused veterans, like the one you'll hear from today, will be making it home. We can learn a lot from the decision. We can learn a lot from this decision and our successful collective approach on veteran homelessness. We should carry on the spirit of collaboration, innovation, and flexibility to address our larger homelessness cities as well. Every American deserves a place to call home, and we're thankful that our leaders here today share that vision and are committed to making that a reality. Now, I am honored to introduce one of our formerly homeless veterans PATH was able to support, Isaac Estevez, to share a few words about his journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you. Hello and good morning. So my name is Isaac Estevez. I served in the U.S. Army 4 years. I enlisted after September 11th, 2001. And I served until 2005. I did a couple deployments in South Korea as well as in Iraq. I was part of Operation Iraqi Freedom 2, and I was there for the second invasion. I used my GI Bill. When I got back from Iraq, I wasn't shot. You know, I came back 10 fingers, 10 toes. You know, I had, but the wounds that I faced were wounds you couldn't see. And that brought challenges. I turned to substances, to self-medicate, which a lot of veterans do. That took me down the path of homelessness and living in vehicles, living on the streets, living in tents. To cope with the struggles of homelessness, I committed crime just to survive, and that fueled my substance use even more. And it was just a vicious cycle. Because of the choices I made, I began to get health issues, and my kidneys began to fail, and I was close to being on dialysis. I was going in and out of jail and out of prison. Eventually, I was connected to support through the VA and PATH. PATH, especially, when I realized what PATH meant, it's people assisting the homeless. That blew my mind. People assisting the homeless. Simple yet effective. Everyone at PATH and at VASH, they all worked together. It was a seamless team. I wasn't sure who was part of what program, but they all worked together, and it was seamless. It all seemed like one team, you know, helping me out. Now, during this time, I was surviving. I survived combat. You know, I came back home to the streets, and I was surviving. The housing that was provided for me, being a homeless veteran, I stopped surviving and I began to live. You know, life was no longer a survival; it was living. Having my own place to call home has changed a lot for me. It's changed my life. And sorry. For those veterans out there, there's hope. Thanks to people like the congressman, the people at VASH, you know, there's hope out there. You no longer have to live, but you can thrive, like I'm beginning to do. The changes that HUD is making, that the congressman has advocated, they're going to help more people like me, more veterans, people who serve their country. I served my country with honor. There's other veterans out there who need help, especially here in San Diego, where they, you know, it makes me ill to see people living in tents, not in the streets, in such a beautiful city. I was born and raised here, and I'm glad to see that something's getting done, especially for us who served. I want to thank you all here today for helping our homeless veterans, and hope that you guys continue to do more to support those who fought and defended freedom. Thank you.
I cannot follow that other than to say this is why I decided to run for Congress and do this work. Happy to take some questions. Yes.
Congressman, some of us are on deadlines. Would we be all right if we did one-on-ones, please?
Sure. That's up to Kyle back there. The answer is yes. Okay. Just look for the guy with the beard. Sure thing. Sure thing.
Thank you.
Anyone? Anyone? You're that one-on-one. Okay. No, I understand. But anybody that wants to do that, does anybody have any group questions for the group? For anybody behind me? Nothing? Hearing nothing? Hearing none? All right. Thank you all very much. Let's do a group photo.